Hello, in these tutorials I am going to work on creating an example from our computer science student of creating another class and possibly passing data back and forth between forms and passing objects. So the first thing that I'm going to do is attempt to make another class, and I'm going to record everything, all of my failures as well, so that you can see how this is done and how to fix some of those mistakes that you might have. The first thing I want to do is to add a new class to my project. So if I right click, I believe I can add a new class, and down here I can add a new class, and instead of a computer science student, I might just say I want to create an engineering student as an example. And so most of the data is going to be the same. I want to use the parent class student, and so I'm going to override, or I'm going to use the parent class. So just like in computer science student, I'm going to have this colon student, and I'm actually going to select all and copy this code, and I'm going to bring it over to engineering student just so I have a template to work with. So I'm going to do slash asterisk and paste all of that in down here, asterisk slash, and just have a template to work with. And so first thing that I'm going to kind of model is that for a computer science student, I want it to inherit from student. So it's going to work with a parent class. I also will have similar constants for a computer science student versus a engineering student. So the constants that the computer science student is going to have, we will say that they're going to, instead of saying computer science hours here, and actually engineering student often does have to take some computer classes, so we'll say they have to take computer science hours. Math hours is probably going to be pretty much the same, and then we will just make up some engineering hours that they have to take. So let's say that they have to take approximately 30 hours of engineering. I don't know what it actually is, but we will just make it that. Likewise, we are going to copy. We will have an additional academic track, very similar to what we had in the other one, but this time with the academic track, we're going to end up choosing whether they have what type of engineering. So we might not call it an academic track, we might call it a engineering track as an example. So that's going to be an additional class level variable, and I'm going to start to delete out some of this code as we use it so I can take a look at it. I need a private string, and it should have worked there, but I have an error message, so we're going to take a look and see. I believe it's probably one of my pound includes or something. So I've got using system collections linked text and system collections linked text. The only difference I have here is a threading tasks, which I really don't think I necessarily need right now. We'll put that in there, that it is not liking that. It's probably my curly braces somewhere. I probably have the class closed off, and I shouldn't right there. So the class was closed off, and it's going to want now, instead of a computer science student, I'm going to have to explain that I want an engineering student. And instead of a track, the track actually would be fine. I'm just choosing an engineering track. So I change academic track to engineering track. I could do a search and replace there. However, with the search and replace, it will, I don't have that many things that I need to code. I'm going to pause this for a second to fix some of my errors here, just to investigate and save some time on the video. So give me a moment and I will be back. My error was a typo. I misspelled engineering, and it was in the name of the class, so I did a right click and I did a rename. That's the way that you should rename classes, because then it takes care of everything for you behind the scenes. And lastly, what I need to change here is academic track would be changed to engineering track, and likewise I'm going to change engineering track here. And so those would be the changes in this particular class. Let's see if I close it off. And I'm also going to have so that's my additional getter method. I am going to have a method for the required hours, and that will change. So if I scroll down and I copy the code here, that's again going to be an overriding method instead of an overloaded method. The only thing I'm going to add is math hours, CS hours, then I will add in the engineering hours that were required. And so that will be my output. So other than that, this actually should work. If I go back to my form and I decide to look at creating an engineering student, I actually want to look at the code here. So instead of an engineering student, I could decide to change or instead of a computer science student, I could make an engineering student. And so engineering student, and they are going to be a new engineering student. This shows me that I kind of did my code correctly when this pop-up window comes up and I can pull on things there. And I'm going to need same data, name, ID, and track. Track should be treated differently for the engineering student, and so I might actually need to have my own form to create the engineering student. So that would be something I didn't actually think about. I could actually use a new form, but based on whether it's an engineering student or not, the radio button is going to be different here. And so that's going to be a change that I had not anticipated. So let me think about that a minute and see if we can get that to be squared away.